Hello, good morning. I read somewhere about a rather interesting condition. It was first identified in 1973 when some robbers took several bank employees hostage in Norrmalmstorg, Stockholm. Too early for big words. Now, the robbers kept their hostages in the bank vault for 6 days while they negotiated with the police. Now, during that time, the hostages became so attached to their captors that they rejected assistance from government officials at one point and defended their captors even after they were released. This inexplicable attachment to the very people who took away their freedom and put their lives in danger came to be known internationally as Stockholm Syndrome. These days, when I look around me at some of the choices we're making as individuals and as a nation, I'm tempted to conclude that many of us are suffering from the very same condition. We just don't know it. We know what our problem is, but we have let our problems grow unchecked for so long and have become so attached to these problems that we're now afraid to solve them. You know, the only reason why you haven't started working on that dream project of yours is because you can't seem to find enough hours in the day, right? So why haven't you tried waking up just 1 hour earlier? It's because you love your sleep, right? You love the thing that is keeping you in bondage. Your business has been stagnant for years. All around you, the competition is growing, diversifying, advertising on social media. Meanwhile, you are refusing to evolve, refusing to respond to your customers' changing tastes. You refuse to try anything new whatsoever because it would involve learning new skills. So you start to celebrate your inflexibility. You call it tradition. You describe your archaic methods as time-tested. The world moves on without you. You remain in your dusty little rut, refusing to move because you have fallen in love with the inertia. You love the thing that is keeping you in bondage. As a nation, our Stockholm Syndrome is probably the most terminal. Even as our leaders steal and misuse our money while giving out contracts to their friends and family, we love them even the more. Even as our political parties are underrepresenting us, selling their conscience for coins and attacking each other with militia thugs, we continue to profess our undying love and loyalty to them. We love the very people that are keeping us in bondage. And of course, like the original sufferers of Stockholm Syndrome, we actively fight any help from those trying to save us. We have endured our easily solvable problems for so long, and we've become so attached to these problems that we fight anyone who would even suggest a solution. You know, like when you have cancer, cancerous cells. That's what we are like. We've become so used to growing and multiplying in the wrong way and in the wrong places that we attack the proper cells and overwhelm them into becoming cancerous too. My dear friend, there's only one way out of this vicious cycle of failure. There's only one cure for this cancer, and that is to cut it out and give a chance for fresh, healthy cells to grow in their place. Our only hope as a nation is to start again with our youth. Let's teach them to do what we are afraid of doing. Let's teach them to speak the truth no matter the consequences. Let's teach them to think outside the box. Let's encourage them to be better than us. Let's give them the chances we did not give ourselves. We have ruined things so much that our only chance is to hit the reset button. But here's the thing. In order for future generations to get it right, we must give them a good example to follow. So I'm afraid we can't just lay back and beam in adoration at our captors, not while our children are watching. We must show them that things can be done differently, and we can only do so by doing things differently. If we lie to them, where will they learn to tell the truth? If we don't try new things, how will they know to think outside the box? If we don't show them righteousness, how will they know that hypocrisy is not the option? If we don't show them accountability, how will they ever fight corruption? If we don't give them life, how will they ever conquer death? We are our own cancer. We are our own kidnappers. We have caused our own problems, and we may not be able to solve them ourselves. But neither will the next generation unless we show them how. My name is Kojo Yankson, and I have been part of the problem. So the least I can do is be part of the solution. Good morning, Ghana.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News. I am Abita CB. Now, 15 bodies have so far retrieved from a collapsed building where worshippers had gathered Tuesday afternoon in the eastern region town of Achimbatabi. Nadmo and other first responders who trooped to the scene have been there since in an operation to rescue survivors and retrieve any bodies they will find. The first responders say they are trying every means possible to rescue survivors trapped under the rubble. Eastern Regional NATMO Director Kwame Apia Kodu gave these details a while ago when he addressed the media at the scene.
I don't want to go into some of these things. No institution has been able to get all the logistics that it needs for each occasion. But the most critical thing to do now is in the light of the limited resources that we have, what can we do to salvage the situation? That is the most important thing that we need to talk about. So the inadequacy of logistics and equipment, we will discuss it on another platform. But going into the future, I think as a country, we need to take critical look at some of these things.
Would we see sniff dogs coming around?
Yes. Now we have some of them. They were brought by the CDS and his team. And very soon we'll see them. We believe it is going to enhance the operation as well. But going forward, I think that is the way to go. But NADMO as an institution does not have the authority and the power to demolish buildings. Ours is to do what we call the hazard mapping, and then to identify the potential hazard that is likely to migrate into disasters. So therefore we can be able to write a report on it for the assemblies. The decision to demolish or not to demolish rests on the assembly and their engineers. Yes. Exercise started from yesterday after the collapse of the building. NADMO and other stakeholders. So now we have a team of military personnel from the 64 Regiment. We have those from the Chazen Jungle Welfare. Then we have the ambulance service. We have NADMO Regional National Directorate, and then the AMA Akoso Manso District, and then the Odam Municipality. All of them are here. And then we have the Ghana Police. And we are on our rescue mission. As at yesterday, we were able to rescue 6 dead people, and then we were able to rescue 7 people who were alive. All of them were sent to the Odam Government Hospital, and as at now, 6 of them have been discharged from the hospital. Only one person, a boy of 30 years, is still at the hospital. But the reports that we are getting is that the situation is better and he is likely to be discharged very, very soon. This morning, we continue with the mission of rescuing people. And as of this morning, we were able to rescue a woman who is alive. She is sent to the government hospital again, and one dead person who is also sent to the morgue at the same hospital. Yes.
Some eyewitnesses who spoke to our sister station Adom FM say many residents had to flee for safety when the building collapsed. Now to other stories. After several failed attempts to get the public to donate life-saving blood to the hospital, staff of the Eastern Regional Hospital have decided to support. Medical Director Dr. Akoto Ampao says he had to show the way to convince the rest of the staff to follow suit. The move has become necessary due to severe shortage at the facility's blood bank. Masokuruko reports.
According to Dr. Akoto Ampao, the hospital has just about 7 pints of blood at the bank, as against a daily consumption rate of 10 pints on the average. He said the COVID-19 is the main cause of the depletion in the blood bank. Akoto Ampao is pleading with the general public to come to the hospital and donate generously to save lives. He has been speaking with Joy News.
It was so critical. The hospital had just about 7 pints of blood. And if you look at our daily consumption, they are supposed to have like a minimum of around 40 to 50 pints of blood. This is because the COVID situation had made it worse. And it has also become important that the people who actually give us the best part of our donation, which are the second cycle institutions, the secondary schools, are on break because of the COVID. So to be able to get blood has become very problematic for us. And in trying to solve the situation, we have resorted to asking our staff to donate. And it is on record that department by department we have requested some donations even from the National Service. And me myself, I've actually donated, and it's just to be able to ensure that we have some amount of blood in the blood bank.
Dr. Akoto Ampah demystified the phobia of blood donation among some Ghanaians.
To get the blood sufficiency that we need, it would be important that at least everybody, every adult donates at least 1 pint a year. However, we are very confident that those that are regular donors, even if they do donation, which we recommend every quarter, will still be able to meet that sufficiency. And I would say that people should not be afraid of donating blood. It's just a process. It does not last more than 10 minutes. It will take you through all the protocols and other things. And you can be sure that if everything is okay with you and you have to donate blood, within the next 3 days, you should be able to produce back all that blood that you have donated.
Perpetua Apia, a National Service personnel at the hospital, was captured by our cameras donating to support the cause. She is a first-time donor.
So I'm a National Service personnel and I work at the state unit. Okay, so after I donated, I feel relieved because this is my first time donating and I feel saving a life is more important. Okay. I think it's nobody told me to donate, but I feel as I'm every day working here, I see people asking for blood more and more, so I felt to donate much. So I think that's the reason.
Mr. John Ewua is a caregiver. He brought a relative to the hospital, but they required blood transfusion. He explained his ordeal to Joy News.
Not well. He's been admitted to the hospital just this afternoon. And upon examination, we were told that she would need some units of blood. Unfortunately, when we put the blood bank, we were told that there is no blood at the bank. And it's a real problem for us. What we're trying to do now is to organize, get some people to donate and help you out. I would have wished to do the donation. Unfortunately, I don't qualify because of my age. And so I want to appeal to the general public, those who feel they are in a position to help, to support the blood bank, to help save lives. I want to take this opportunity to appeal to them to come to the Koforidua Regional Hospital to make a donation to the blood bank.
Maxwell Kudaka report from Koforidua.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has broken his silence on the ongoing violent protests in some Nigerian states with a tweet calling for calm and dialogue. The social media post comes after he was flagged on social media for his silence on the matter as Nigerians complained about brutality at the hands of their security forces. President Akufo-Addo, who doubles as ECOWAS chairman, said in his tweet, "I join all well-meaning persons in calling for calm and the use of dialogue in resolving the hashtag End SARS Impasse in Nigeria. I've spoken with President Buhari, who's committed to this end and has begun the processes that would lead to reform. Violence, be it on the part of the police or protesters, cannot be the solution. To the families who have lost their loved ones, I express my sincere condolences and I wish the injured a speedy recovery. Hashtag End SARS." Mama V and Benjamin will discuss this later on the show. Now to other stories. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Kweku Asamoah-Kyeremeh has denied allegations that government has sold excavators seized from illegal miners, popularly referred to as galamseyers. Giving updates on the excavators, he explained that a total of 157 are currently in the custody of the ministry, adding that his office is collaborating with the Office of the Attorney General on how to move forward.
To excavators. Excavators, I have alluded to the fact that the number we have is 157 at Adenta and Obuasi and Takwa. These are the areas that we have the excavators. The number that I have provided are numbers that are on site. The place is not walled, it is not closed. So each of us can join us on Friday morning around 11. We are going to do further counting of our machines over there and make a press conference to that effect. I'm doing this because they talk about by our friends in NDC that 500 excavators are missing, have been sold, have been stolen. It's neither here nor there. I stood at Fury Forest at Tiahini Valley area and told journalists that not to the best of our knowledge as a ministry that 500 excavators are missing, that 500 excavators have been sold. The government has not sold any excavator. Whoever claims that excavators have been sold, let the person come up with further and better particulars. The chassis numbers of such excavators, registration numbers of such excavators, and all that. We welcome all that and subject same to proper scrutiny and investigation.
He adds that over 4,000 jobs have been created in the mining industry since the government took over, and several thousand more will be added following the creation of community mining schemes. And that's how we end the AM News. I'm Peter CBD. The show continues with Mama V and Benjamin. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us as we do the review. Ben is here.
Hi.
Hi there again.
So it's always a pleasure to dig into the papers, find out what exactly they have for us. Let's take it from here. I'll start with the...
Let me just say that our colleague Erastus Asari-Donko with Love FM will join us as we do the review. He will also talk about his experience reporting on the robbery incident in the Ashanti region. Reason we have the Deputy Regional Police Commander joining us later this morning to discuss the issues with the robberies. People don't feel safe in Kumasi in particular. So what are they doing about it exactly? And what are some of the tips that he can share with us so that we can all protect ourselves? All right, Ben?
Mama V, when was the last time you were in Kumasi?
2 weeks ago or a week ago for a call's wedding. Yes,
very
quite recent.
Yeah. And what did you notice? I mean, we're all talking about the security situation and all of that.
I didn't experience any security issues,
but
Kumasi is a beautiful place. I've said that if they transfer me to Kumasi, I'll go.
You'll be grateful there. Careful what you ask for. Anyway, let's start with the Ghanaian publisher. And it says, Ahafo remains grateful to Akufo-Addo chiefs declare. Ghana link GRA train stakeholders on ICOMS. And then Akufo-Addo calls for calm in Nigeria. Now, some people were taking him on with regard to his, purported delay, but I think better late than never. Some were citing what happened in the Mills era when, Mills was being pushed to say something about a similar incident. But His Excellency the President has responded. Ghana lost $114.8 million to cybercrime in the last 2 years. Imagine that. And then Ghana is ready for AFCFTA, that is the African Trade Agreement. Trade Minister Alan Tremantain saying that, Mama V.
Let's do the Daily Graphic front page. President Akufo-Addo calls for calm in Nigeria. So that same headline or story, if you like, in the publisher, also making it here. Gold Assay Center blocks 14 million Ghana cedis tax evasion. Let's invest more in science. March quiz. That's a call by past contestants of the National Science and Maths Quiz program. Church of Prosperity collapsed building, debt toll rises to 14. We were told that there's been another body, but we're going to clarify that. So is it 14 or 15 exactly? And what's the latest? Where are we with this rescue? But the assurances, at least by the Eastern Region Minister, says that they're going to ensure that whether dead or alive, they don't leave any human being
in that wreckage there. FDA reauthorizes sale of Kwa mixture. In fact, the entire center spread of the paper has the story. On the back page, 3 dump sites cleared in Bono region. And examine your breasts regularly. Medical doctor advises women and men. We're talking breast cancer in men on our show. And I think that the women fairly know how to examine their breasts. Yeah. But as for you guys, I don't know.
That's the problem.
Where do you
I
even
guess
touch?
We ought to get more accustomed to the breast, screening bit, testing ourselves at home. I mean, I'm just imagining, wow.
How about we test you live on the show?
Live on the show?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Really?
Absolutely not. Not live on television.
What would you be hiding?
Oh.
You guys don't have what we have.
But the Daily Guide this morning says Nana savors #1 slot. Did you see that tweet of his? Savoring the #1, talking about his party being the first in everything, just as the party's General Secretary John Gwedu had done. So the Daily Guide captures that. Government is shielding #1, says Mahama, and then Lithovit fertilizer diluted witness. That's according to a witness. Then Bono's 60-year-old refuse dump cleared. Imagine that, 60 years on, and then church collapses, 12 killed. And so I think varying reports coming through, some saying 12, others saying 14, some saying 15, but we'll be getting into the details of that story. Now, on the back page, it says, Echampong saves Teda from relegation, GFA cry over stadium charges. And this is an interesting one, a matter we're delving into on the show today. Nigeria government are killers. Now, Manchester United striker Odion Igalo has pleaded with the UK government and the United Nations to help the people of Nigeria after protesters were killed on the streets of Lagos. So Odion Igalo has joined the fray. He's talking about it. Özil blasts Arsenal after axe. And that is the Daily Guide newspaper.
All right, let's say good morning to our colleague Erastus Asari Danko, who joins us via Zoom. Erastus? Okay, we're going to get Erastus right back. So let me just do the daily dispatch whilst we work on that. Erastus is back, so let me just say good morning. Erastus?
Amavi, good morning.
Good morning. There you are. I hope you're well and you're keeping safe at least.
I'm well.
Nice. So you're going to be doing the Ghanaian Times and the Business and Financial Times. Let's hear you. Ben?
Okay, so let's move on to the Daily Statesman newspaper. 14.5 million euros, 60-bed hospital for Ketu North. That's some progress there. Akufo-Addo calls for calm in Nigeria, urges the use of in the hashtag End SARS protests. There's also Volta Ahafo chiefs eulogize compassionate visionary Akufo-Addo. When you go to the back page of that paper, it says Messi equals another record in Barcelona win, and he actually scored on a joint record 16th Champions League season, and 17-year-old Pedri netted his first senior goal as Barcelona beat Ferencváros. You know, when it comes to the Champions League, there are always records being broken. So that's another one broken right there. He has actually equaled it. Then Angel Correa insists Partey's departure is a big loss for Atletico Madrid. And if you know what happened to Atletico yesterday, you would realize that it was trouble right there. Atletico went down by 4-0 to the champions of the Champions League. I'm talking here about Bayern Munich. So quite a situation there yesterday. And you can understand why Correa is saying that they miss the man, Thomas Partey, who now is donning an Arsenal jersey. He's a gunner. But let me move on to the Daily Heritage newspaper. That's and this one says, I will win Krowo seat with 4,000 votes margin. That is Namomo predicting that on the NDC end. Only 18% paid depositors of savings and loans companies cry. I'll back free SHS with solid infrastructure. Mahama points to track record in infrastructure development. That's an interesting development there. Of course, he's been saying that his detractors are claiming he is not for free SHS, but that is not the case. Nungwarari House CEO rescues amputee patient from Kolebu. A bit of a gory scene. When I go to the back page of that paper, the Daily Heritage, it says, NSA rescinds decision on user fees for Accra Sports Stadium, and Efriye to lead Ghana against Nigeria and the Ivory Coast.
All right, let's try and see if Erastus is ready to do the Ghanaian Times for us. Okay, so let me just go straight away. Do the Daily Dispatch. Yes, what's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch? Does the position on the ballot affect a party's chances? Greatly we discuss this matter with the owner of this paper, Uncle Benefsin, yesterday here on our show. NPA response to tanker drivers. Sanitation Ministry praised by Western North communities for cleaning dump sites. And Jogate to retain Escado Ketan for NPP. Jogate has been in Parliament for quite a while. 3 parliaments, really, if you like. The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and he's going for the 8th. I have spoken to President Buhari. That's according to President Akufo-Addo's statements that he posted yesterday on the Nigeria situation. So pretty much that's it for the Daily Dispatch. Let's tell you what's in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Front page, 9 died, 14 rescued after collapse of church building. Nationwide evacuation of dam sites moves to Bono region. Politicians must allow public institutions to work. That's a call by Vladimir Enchidanso after days of violent protests, bloodshed in Nigeria. President, world leaders call for calm. And I guess the criticism has been the fact that our own African leaders had been very quiet. We heard from Western leaders way before our own leaders started to speak up on this matter. Eventually, the president of Nigeria also finally issuing a statement through a spokesperson. We've heard from the UN, the ECOWAS Commission. Now the AU has also said something on this matter. On the back page of the Ghanaian Times, Ghana is ready for the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, says the Minister for Trade, Alan Tremating. Also, 4 companies donate cash items for farmers. The last paper for me, at least, and then we will get Erastus to come through and share a story that he's filed on the robberies and some experiences he would share with us in that regard. But the Business and Financial Times front page, 36 companies, 12 individuals honored at 2020 Ghana Business Standard Awards. High data demand sees CST exceed target by 80%, but total revenue continues abysmal performance. Also, 60-year-old dam sites evacuated in Bono region. We don't owe government any taxes, according to the Association of Oil Marketing Companies and LPG Marketing Companies. They rejected claims that some of their members are indebted to the government in terms of taxes to the tune of 25.5 billion Ghana cedis. There are plenty more stories in the paper, some features and opinions as well that you can, grab and read. But let's just bring Erastus. Erastus, hi there again. You couldn't go through the papers with us, but you can certainly tell us about the robberies being recorded in the Ashanti region. You witnessed one yesterday. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Mama V, sorry about that. I wanted to really comment on the church collapse.
Go ahead. Erastus, go ahead. Go ahead and talk about it.
That's a huge mistake on our part as a country. I thought we've learned from the Malcolm building collapse and all the building collapse we've witnessed along the line. I think by now we should have some policies in place to check this thing. How many buildings are going up without any checks or so ever? The various assemblies, do they really check the structure, integrity of this before they allow it to go on? I think as a country, we should move beyond this. It's shameful that in this age, we have institutions that can check this, and then it could allow people and then we come crying. This is not the way to go. I think we should be learning from this. Put the necessary things in place for people. Before you put up a building, a high-rise structure, it should go through some process before people can even enter and start doing business.
Yeah, it's interesting, Ben, how we get to know about the defects when they go down.
Yeah.
When it collapses, then we get to learn that, oh, there were some structural defects after all.
I actually, listened to the assembly, a representative speaking, and he was trying to shift the goalpost, suggest that, oh, this structure had been like recaptured on myjoyonline.com. 28 years uncompleted and all of that. Someone should have known that this was just a waiting disaster. Time was ticking and no one responded to it. But he was trying to say he had merely been in charge for about 2 years. But 2 years is long enough for you to spot some of these, issues. And it's really sad. As I listened, my heart, I really felt for some of those who had lost family members and all of that. One of the stories, a 7-year-old, he was just sent out to go and get something, and that was his salvation. He would have died with the others. A woman was lamenting, weeping because she had lost her sister. No one wants to be in that position, and we could have easily avoided it.
Absolutely. Yesterday, there was only one person who was pulled out who had survived. I think also the painful thing is that we don't know the exact numbers trapped under the rubble. So we will be still following up on this matter today to see. I think the Eastern Regional Minister has been quite forthcoming with information, giving us updates and what authorities are doing. So we'll be following this matter again. Erastus, we'll come to you with the security issues, but Ben, do you have an issue you want to highlight? Any
from the papers?
From the papers, yes.
Well, let's start with the Daily Guide. I'll do two very quick ones on page 3. The first one has to do with, since we're talking security, NPP MP killers caged. And it says 6 persons arrested in connection with a gruesome murder of Eko Kwanzaa, the NPP MP for Infantiman in the Central Region, have been remanded in police custody by an Accra Circuit Court. Now, the 6 have been accused of robbing the MP and his campaign team at gunpoint and killing him in the process. The suspects include Al-Hassan Abubakar, a.k.a. Abu Fulani, phone repairer, Naziru Fadilu, a.k.a. SP, businessman, Al-Hassan, what kind of business is that? Al-Hassan Mama Yaya, a.k.a. Mystical Cloud, unemployed, Amadou Yakubu, mobile money agent, Haruna Osman trader, Adam Al-Hassan, scrap dealer, and another suspect only identified as Mohammed, who is currently at large. And all of them pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy and robbery. For me, this is the good part. At least we've quickly apprehended some people, but let it not go the same way that the J.B. Dankwa Edu case went, because up to today, his alias, they all have aliases apparently, are always, you remember Sexy Don Don?
Yes.
He is still behind bars. We don't really know what is happening with that case, and it's just sad. If he is culpable, let him face, the music. But it appears we apprehend all these people and usually nothing comes out of it. I could say same for Professor Yao Bene as well. At least one of them has lost his life, but the other one who was apprehended in Tema. We just pray that justice will not be delayed. But the other one I wanted to do, government is shielding Namwan, says Mahama. That in a nutshell is what he is saying. I only do that story on the back of the fact that a lot of these people who have invested in some of these entities, not just Men's Gold, have been lamenting in recent times on the back of the promise made by His Excellency the President. They want their money. And it appears a lot of those who invested are not going to get their dividends, at least not anytime quickly. But from the Men's Gold end, Mahama believes government is shielding number one. Those are 2 quick stories from the Daily Guide.
So from the first one that you did with the MP who was killed, apparently his phone had a tracker on it. That's how come the police were able to get the suspects that they grabbed.
Technology.
But the first person they got also said that, he bought the phone from someone. So he bought it at 680 Ghana cedis, I think, and also sold it for 780. The person who bought it for 780 said, I bought it at 680 from another person. The 680 also now says, I bought it from someone. So that's the Mohammed that they're trying to, they're trying to get now.
So when they get the source, the first person from whom the phone was apparently bought, then at least we'll make a headway.
Yes. Yes. So on that note, let me ask Erastus, because, you know, with the robberies in Ashanti, has there been some arrest or some tracking device that's led the police to arrest some people like we've seen in this case?
Well, it's only in the case of the mobile money vendor who was gunned down at Onye, close to Ejiso, who the police have made a press conference to that effect that they've arrested some 2 people. And so they are now taking them through investigations and all that. But the others, we are yet to see police make advances in that direction. What worries me most and other residents in the area is that the consistency from June and down to now, 8 people have been shot. About 6 of them, you know, have died, and including a pregnant woman who was stabbed at Ampetia whilst trying to rescue her daughter from one of the robbers. Yesterday, what we witnessed was quite unusual. You know that in the past 3 days, we've had 2 people shot. At least 3 people.
And technology is not helping us this morning. The connection is going bad with Erastus. But I think we have him back now. Erastus? Okay, yeah. Erastus, let's try again. You're telling us about exactly what happened yesterday.
Yeah, and so we went to the spot where this Chinese national was shot. That was on Tuesday morning around 9 a.m. So whilst we're doing the report from there live on midday, I saw 2 men on a motorbike at top speed, you know, cross the road on the other side. And so I tried to find out what was happening. And before I could say, Jack, they've attacked a young man who came out of one of the banks, or Fidelity Bank. He was holding a polythene bag full of money. And he had gone to the mobile money vendor just a walking distance from where the Chinese man was shot. Apparently, eyewitnesses are telling us that they saw the 2 men on the motorbike parked there for some time. And so just as I dropped the line from the midday live, we saw them grab the bag from the young man and speed off. And the police came in about 5 minutes after the 2 robbers had, you know, sped off. And so it has thrown the Ahojo, Achenga Junction area residents there into a state of, you know, panic and fear. Yesterday, some of them closed shop immediately and went home. Some of them started running around, you know, not knowing what to do. Just a week ago, the same area, a walking distance down the Kasi Road, they had another person shot by 2 men on a motorbike just before the Chinese man was shot. If you descend downwards, going to the Mayanka area, another person was shot there as well. Before, another man was shot at Atonsu. That's about 2 miles from the Ahojo area. That person died instantly. And so
so our connection has just gone bad again. But Erastus would still be with us, and he will join us when we engage the Ashanti Region Police. But there's a related story that, Ben, you want to share in one of the papers. And this has to do with the earlier conversation about the defects on the buildings.
Yes, but right before I get into that, because Erastus brought this up, I just want to, I don't know, maybe call them a few tips to share. Sometimes people get out of the bank, you have a backpack and all of that. You're making yourself a target. Let's watch how you enter your car. For me, first thing I do, I lock up before I even buckle up. Sometimes you enter your car, you've not locked up. People can easily come open, especially when they've seen you coming out of a bank and all of that. So let's all be more security conscious, because it appears nowadays the robberies are too many. But in the Daily Statesman, dilapidated classroom block poses danger to students at SRA. I'll just summarize on this one, because some years back, it nearly caved in, compromising some students. It's been years on, and this is in the Yilo Krobo Municipality Assembly of the Eastern Region. I'm highlighting this because here we are again. Let's not wait till disaster strikes. At least it's struck. We are losing too many lives unnecessarily. Normally.
Yeah, absolutely. Erastus, we have to wrap up on this. I don't know if you're still with us and if you can hear us. Okay, well, the connection is... Okay, Erastus, just on this issue of the position on the ballots of the political parties, what are the people in Kumasi in particular saying?
Well, there are people within, especially the strongholds of the NDC, who think that this is the second coming of ex-president John Mahama, and so it fits directly into their message. And there are people, many people, who think that, well, number one for Nanado is just that he's a winner, and that the Esroho, as they call it, you know, up there, is the favorite spot of the NPP, and so it just means that he has won, and there's no qualms about that. So there are people who are interpreting it to mean victory for their candidates, depending on where they fall. Yeah.
Yeah. Erastus, we're going to be connecting with you a bit later on when we talk about the security matters in the Ashanti region. But for now, for the review, that will be all. We'll take a breather, Ben. We'll bring you sports, and it's all about the Champions League. Manchester United, Chelsea, they started on a pretty good note. I can't say same with Liverpool because it was Ajax that scored for them.
No.
Like, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Whether some other person scored, they still won. Just as with Manchester United.
Yeah.
Anthony Martial actually netting against his own team.
Oreko is up next with details. Let's talk to the Ashanti Region Police now. That's how we've hashtagged this conversation on the back of the robbery incident recorded. And our colleagues in Ashanti Region, at least in Kumasi, have said that this week alone, they've reported on 3. Joining us for a conversation, and I need you to be part of it, particularly if you're in Kumasi or the Ashanti Region. You can give us a call right now, 0302-211-69-102, 0302-211-69-102. My guest is DCOP David Ajem, Deputy Regional Police Commander in the Ashanti Region. He's ready to address all your concerns, so join us with your phone calls now. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Can you tell us about the incident? And my colleague Erastus Asari Donko was recapping for us a bit earlier. From June, about June to now, we've recorded about 8 robbery cases. What are your records saying?
Yes, I agree with him. We had about say out of what we've experienced in the past. I think that looking at statistics, we think that the numbers are not as high as they used to be. Yes, we are doing our best to. We cannot stop everything, but we minimize them as much as possible. And the regional command has put in a number of measures, and I'm sure Erastus and his team will tell you what we are doing here. It's unfortunate. Any robbery that takes place is traumatizing to the victims involved, and so we wish that they do not happen at all. But I guess we also need to let people understand that primarily their security must be their. They should take their security much more seriously than I think, because, I mean, if you look at the policing numbers and what we have, we cannot be everywhere at every time. And so we would advise all citizens to be conscious about their security and ensure that the first line of protection is theirs.
Tell us about the incident recorded this week alone. There was a Chinese man that was also gunned down, we're told.
We've had a report And I think that we are closing in on the perpetrators. I think this week we've had a couple of robberies, men on motorbikes apparently attacking victims, taking what is supposed to be money from them. And we are seriously investigating, and I'm sure very soon you will hear about what we've been able to do.
Okay. Is there?
But yes, I may also use this opportunity to tell every resident of Kumasi watching this program that it is also their responsibility to tell us who these persons are, because I'm sure people know them because they are operating in virtually about in the same vicinity. And so I'm sure there are people who have chanced on them and know them. So we are appealing to such people to come and give us information so that we can be able to apprehend these people and get our city safer.
Okay, let me speak to Hakeem, and then I'll come to whether or not they're using new means. I beg your pardon. So let's hear from Hakeem. Hakeem, good morning.
Good morning. Well, hello. My take is that.
Hello, Hakeem.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you.
Kindly turn down the volume on your television set, okay?
Yeah,
so we can do the conversation through the phone.
Okay, I did.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you see, sometimes we have to be plain to the fact. The issue is that in the last administration, we had police. We had a policy called visibility, and the visibility. For me, I've been traveling a lot, and before the visibility, the robbery cases were rampant. But in the advent of the visibility, the cases has reduced drastically. But this current administration has withdrawn this particular policy. I strongly believe it has contributed a lot to the insecurity that we are currently experiencing.
Okay, so
the other thing is that weapons have been given to these hoodlums.
When you say weapons have been given to them, who are you referring to? Who gave them the weapons?
Well, the so-called national security.
Okay, I guess we can't continue to have this conversation. You can't make wild allegations like that. I appreciate your earlier comments about police visibility, though. We're going to put that to the Deputy Police Commander. Let's speak to Christopher. Good morning, Christopher. Hello, Christopher. Okay, unfortunately, we lost Christopher. But let me come to you, Ms. Ajem. My earlier caller was talking about visibility.
Yes.
Has anything changed?
My sister, what we have to understand is that policing is situational. And so depending on the situation you have on the ground, you tailor your policing activities. I mean, what we want to achieve is that we want to make sure that crime is minimized. And so what we realized was that, yes, we had the visibility, so we didn't have people doing these things in the daytime, but rather we're having a lot of problems during nighttime. And so we have now decided that because we're having more cases in the nighttime, we've deployed more men, and so we have the same number of men. And so if you are deploying more men at night, it means that you cannot deploy the same number of men during the day. And let me tell you, I mean, Hakeem was talking about the fact that the situation was hitherto. If I tell you that in 2000.
Okay, so our connection has just gone bad there. We'll try and re-establish contacts. In the meantime, let me speak to Clemens. Clemens is in Ejura. Hello, Clemens. Good morning. Hello, Clemens. You're in
the as of today, October. So if you look at the statistics, then his statement about insecurity is really not founded on any basis.
So we lost.
If you look at the statistics, the numbers are rather.
Ms. Ajem, we lost the beginning of that submission. You were using the statistics, so I would ask you to do that again for me. But let me take a call. Yes. Let me take a call, and then I'll come back to you so you can go back and share those statistics with us. Nuruddin is in Kumasi. Nuruddin, you're on air. Thanks for your call.
Okay, thank you. Please, madam, I would just like to comment on the visibility. You know, it was an effective tool in combating crime in Kumasi. We all witnessed how it was effective, how we were seeing policemen during the day everywhere, and then in the night they would go on patrol. But in the last 2 or 3 years, we've not been witnessing it. I think that greatly accounts for the increase in robbery, broad daylight robbery that we are seeing, like the recent one in Atom.
Okay, but is there visibility at least in Ejura at night?
No, I'm talking about the Kumasi actually.
Yes, but I'm asking, is it at night or you're talking about day?
You know, the visibility were present during the day, and in the night you were seeing frequent patrols, but we don't see them anymore actually.
Okay, all right, great. Our commander would, deputy commander will address that. Clements is back. Hello, Clements.
Yeah, madam, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Clement from Takoradi.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Hello, Clements. Oh, the lines are playing tricks on us this morning, but just keep trying. 030221169102. Clements, you're still on. Hello, Clements.
Hello. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Clement from Takoradi. I just want to, re-emphasize on the guy who called the second caller. If somebody wants to make either allegation or anything sort, you must to listen to the person, and afterwards you do your own investigation.
Okay.
Generally.
All right, Clement. I appreciate your thoughts, but I have to let you go. Unfortunately, I can't allow anybody to make wild allegations. I can't listen to you before investigating. You must come with something more than just saying it, unfortunately, though. But we're sticking to the security situations in Ashanti region. We've got the Ashanti police joining us. So if you've got any thoughts that you want to share, any questions, anything that will make you feel safer than you do right now, kindly give us a call and share your thoughts. Let's go to Christopher. Christopher is back. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Christopher. Okay, I don't seem to have Christopher. So let me bring Ms. Ajem. You were talking about the statistics. I was saying that we missed what you shared largely. So can you go back to it? Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes. Was alluding to the fact that because we are not visible. Hello.
Yes, you're on, sir. We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
What I was saying was that the last caller was, the caller was alluding to the fact that because the police is not visible, that's why, but I'm telling him that it is not true. Because there are police very visible at night, and people have even started complaining on policing is situational. So depending on the situation and what you have on the ground. Hitherto, we had a number of cases during the day, and so we deployed people during the day. Now, what we are doing is that the statistics show that the assertion that the city is becoming insecure is not true, because if you look at the statistics from example 2012, in 2012 we had about 367 robberies. As at October this year, we've had about 165, which is less than half what was the case earlier. And so let us not just throw in things because we want to throw in things. Let's just tell you that robberies are very minimal now. Now you don't hear people going to people's homes to rob them. Occasionally, yes, you hear once, but these are things we think we have contained.
Okay. Let's take 2 more
robberies
calls.
that are coming up.
Let's take 2 more calls, sir, and then I'll come back to you. Kojo Asante is from Techiman, and then Stephen from Kath. I'll come to you after Kojo Asante. Kojo Asante, a very good morning to you. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much for having me.
Great.
In fact, honestly speaking, the commander is saying that the statistics has reduced. But those of us, in fact, I'm calling from Techiman, but I stay in Kumasi. I just came to do some business and I'll go back.
Okay.
You see, Kumasi is becoming a very dangerous place because the robberies are changing to the extent that they are no longer coming to your homes, knock at your door and rob you, but just step out and somebody pull a gun or knife on you. And that's what is happening. Currently, the issue with motorbikes is becoming so dangerous. The SDA guy who was killed, I knew him. You see, and they are lurking just in front of banks. And I wonder why the police is still not visible in these areas. In the night, you hardly see policemen. In fact, it appears as if they are sleeping because every single traffic that you cross, you see that they are not there and drivers do whatever they want. Police, these people with Aboboya and motorbike do whatever they want. You hardly see the police in action. In fact, we must change the mode of police operations. Mama V, why are we not having street cameras? With this, what is going on now? We are not seeing any improvement in security. Technology is abound. Cameras are there. And we can invest in cameras outside to really foster apprehending criminals who shoot and kill people in daylight in Kumasi. It's becoming very rampant. What you don't hear in the news are many than what comes out. Trust me.
Well,
and the commander, what he's telling you is not true. As far as those of us stay in Kumasi, it's far from the truth.
All right, Kojo, well, thank you very much. Let's hear from Stephen. Stephen is from Kath. Hello, Stephen.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Stephen.
Yes, my submission is that, yes, Mama V, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Steve. Please go ahead.
All right. My submission is that security is the responsibility of both the citizenry and then the state institutions that are, responsible for. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that on the part of the citizenry, I think that we need enough education. Should you meet a Ghanaian outside and ask him, did you see any person pass by in a few minutes? He will not be able to tell you. So we need to be taught how to really observe and keep observations found. We should actually be taught how to ask certain line of questions. And then when we see motors, etc., passing by on top speed, we should ask ourselves, what is it about? When we have this line of thought, this line of action, we'll be able to feed the police when something happens.
Okay.
Besides that, the police also have a role to play. When we ask simple questions like, where those armed robbers, where are they getting the guns from? Where are they getting the ammunition from? So it's a question that must actually be asked properly. If it's that they import them in, what are the entry points? If it's that they produce them locally here, then when they are caught, armed robbers are caught, we should trace back to where they bought the guns from, the manufacturing center. And I'm very sure that if we're able to deal with them according to our protocols, the situation of armed robbery will be kept.
Stephen, very important points you raised there. Thank you very much. Let's get our Deputy Police Commander to address the concerns that have come through. Sir.
Yes, Mamavi, thank you. I think somebody alluded to people having weapons, yes. But the point is that, like the last caller said, security is a joint responsibility. We live with these persons who own the arms, albeit illegally. But we do not come and report them. I mean, the police will not know what is happening in every home. And so we are entreating each one of us to be a good citizen and start reporting these matters. If you see somebody who has a gun and the person is not supposed to have it, let us know, let us effect an arrest, let us investigate these persons. If we're able to do these, then we'll reduce the number of arms in the system. Of course, we know the number of registered weapons, but most of these ones that are being used for these robbery activities are not licensed. And so we are taking the opportunity to advise every citizen that it is their responsibility to report these, and we are those are open to accept these.
Okay, so just finally
Then
on
somebody
this,
was talking about
your
cameras on the
statistics.
streets. Well,
Yes, your statistics look good, but the people don't feel safe.
yes, I think that the reason why people don't feel safe is that it's also because now information travels faster than it used to, and so when things don't even happen, you hear people talking about things that have happened. I mean, and so that is probably what is creating the insecurity. But I want to assure every person who lives in Kumasi that the police is up and doing, and we are there to protect everybody. What we must understand is all law enforcement is a shared responsibility. The public have hired our services to provide a service. And so they should also help us do the job they have given us by giving us as much information as they can and have about these miscreants. And we assure them that we'll do what is in our powers to get these people arrested and prosecuted. But you see, the other point I need to also say is that for the last few months, we've had a number of cases where persons who have been arrested, prosecuted, sometimes convicted, are coming out back on the streets. We do not know how they are coming back on the streets. And so you arrest these people, and most of them are ex-convicts or persons who are supposed to be in prison. It is something that is baffling, and we are also becoming a bit too lenient, and courts that do that. And so if you arrest, prosecute them before a court of law and they are granted bail, it is difficult for the police to do something about it.
Okay, so
I know that the police command.
Unfortunately, we're losing you again. But most importantly, I wanted you to leave us with the phone number so our friends in the Ashanti region and in Kumasi, how can they reach the police? Well, he's gone off, but I'm going to get in touch off air and make sure that we leave that phone number or numbers with you. The last thing that we want to do on this conversation is really, really important. What numbers do you call if you feel unsafe? But that's our conversation on Ask the Ashanti Police, and I hope that, do really pray and hope that you've received enough assurances and that the police have given you some confidence this morning. When we come back, Dr. Samson Asala is general practitioner with Medifem Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. He's our doctor talking to us about breast cancer in men. Stay with us. So in Ghana and I guess elsewhere, breast cancer is a major public health problem and the most common type of cancer among women in terms of mortality and incidence. Though breast cancer is mostly commonly thought of as a disease that affects women, it does occur in men too. The disease is in men is most common in older men, we're told, though it can occur at any age. Is there a study on male breast cancer in Ghana? What are the trends, signs, and symptoms of male breast cancer? That's our conversation here with Dr. Samson Asala, general practitioner, Medifem Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. A very good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Mommy. Thank you for having me.
First of all, you've witnessed how it's been difficult convincing my colleagues, the camera technicians, to come up so that we can check their breasts.
Yeah.
Do they even come forward at all?
Oh, they do. So we've got some men coming for the breast exam. You know, in the month of October, because of the awareness, there's all this hype about doing the examinations, which we want to encourage. And we have men coming in to have their breast checked.
Okay, so maybe not on live television, but they do come in, which is a good thing.
They are camera shy.
But what's the trend in Ghana with the men?
Right. So breast cancer in men is rare. It is about 1% of all breast cancers. Because of the rarity, on a public health perspective, that is why there's not a lot of shouting about it as much as it is for the women. But it's also important because it's been realized that because most men feel like they do not have or they cannot get it, they present very late. And it's unfortunate because for men, if it is picked up early, in fact, for men, it can be easily picked up because the breast size is not so big. So it is easier to detect the lumps that occur. And once you detect the lump, you can pick it up earlier. You can have curative surgery. So in men, one of the reasons why we are talking about men is that if it's early, we can cure, and we can it can easily be detected. The problem comes because men think that, oh, this is a woman's issue. So if they see it, they may see it, but then they will ignore it. You know, boys, they'll just be doing things. Before you know it, it has spread. And then when you come at a stage where it's more difficult.
Yeah. So in explaining what breast cancer is, tell us also how it would show in the man.
Right. Okay. So cancer is abnormal, uncontrolled growth of cells. And for breast cancer, it means some of the cells in the breast are growing out of the normal. Let me liken it to a tap. You know, you have taps at home, and sometimes you open a tap, you close it, and then occasionally the tap gets jammed, gets spoiled, so that it's always running. I don't know if you've had that problem. I've had it in my house. So breast cancer is similar to that. In fact, cancers in general is similar to that in the extent that normal cells increase and then they decrease. So it's like the tap opening and closing. But it gets to a point where the increase cannot be stopped. So the cells are increasing every day, and then they begin to spread. In breast cancer, there are tissues in the breast. We have lobular tissues and ductal tissues. Those are names of certain kinds of tissues in the breast.
Okay.
So when the cells there begin to increase without stopping, it's like a tap that is running and you cannot stop it, then that's a cancer. So first, it starts with one cell, it divides and increases. That is why we can pick up a lump. It means the cell has divided multiple times and now we can feel it. That is also why we do things like the mammogram. The mammogram is able to pick up very tiny breast cancers that we cannot feel. So mammogram is recommended annually for women 50 and above. It meant to, as part of screening, mammogram is recommended. It's just that because of how rare it is usually done for men who are known to have increased risk of getting breast cancer.
Okay. What will put you in that category?
Great. So let me use my analogy of the tap.
Okay.
So you see, there are some taps that by their own nature are faulty. You can have various taps. There are some that if you buy from the market, they'll tell you that this one, after a short while, it gets faulty. Okay. And there are some taps that you can do the same thing for a longer time, right? So if you have two taps and one gets damaged early, it means that there was something wrong with the tap itself. In the same way, our genetic material, there are some people that their genetic material is easily damaged so that they get into the cancerous cells. Now, for those people, this kind of thing passes through their families. So you see families where they have cancers appearing at younger ages, less than 40, maybe breast cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer. So if you have a family where they have cancers that appear early, it means that you have the propensity, or it's easier for you to get cancers. In those kind of men,
then we will do the regular screening, because we already know from the family that people in the family, close relatives, are getting cancer. So there's the likelihood that you also get.
Appearing early means at what stage? Or
appearing early for men, so less than 40. Cancers that appear 40 years and below. Okay. In fact, less than 50, but then 40 and below usually means that we don't expect it that age. I mean, the older you go, the more you are at risk, because if you are going on and off after some time, you expect some things to go. But if it happens too early, that is 40 and below, then we know that there's something wrong. Okay.
Now you can give us a call, particularly if you're a man and if you've got concerns. Give us a call, 0302-211-69102, 0302-211-69102. Now that we're not getting models, how are you going to teach the men how to examine it? I'm sure you have a way around it. But I also have a question of, if you have, say, a sibling, a sister, or a mother, or a wife with breast cancer, or they've had it before, if you're a man living with them, is there a possibility that you could also have it?
So, breast cancer is not communicable. That means that one person getting it doesn't mean that you can transfer it to another person, just like you have a COVID. However, it is inheritable. That means that once a parent has it, you're most likely to have it. It's similar to how in families you have people who have allergies. If somebody has allergies, the children have allergies, it passes on. Yes, those are genetic. They run through the DNA. So for a man whose wife has breast cancer, even though they are married, they don't have any genetic linkage. So there's no risk there. For a man whose mother has breast cancer at a late age, sort of over 50, that one, there's no risk. But if the mother has had breast cancer or ovarian cancer less than 40, it means that there is some problem with the genetic material. This man needs to be screened earlier to make sure that there's no breast cancer.
Okay, let's get onto the phone lines now. George is calling from Tamale. Good morning, George. Hello, George. Hi, George. Please speak up for us and kindly turn down the volume on that television set, okay? Let's see if Daniel is ready to speak, and then I'll come back to you, George. Daniel, good morning. Daniel from Bubuashi.
Yes. I would like to know, one of my breasts is a bit bigger than the other. So I would like to understand, can that also be one of such thing? I really want to understand it.
This. Hello, Daniel?
Yeah.
So I was just asking if it's always been like that.
It started, no, when I was a kid, it wasn't like that. It started developing that is a few years ago, when I think I was 12. I'm now about 23.
Okay. And does it hurt?
Yeah. Not really, but at times when you try to press it a bit harder, you can feel a bit of pain here and there.
Okay, Doc, am I asking the right questions?
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right.
Very well.
Daniel, we'll try and get some answers. Okay, let me speak to George. George is in Tamale. Good morning, George. Hello, George. Okay, we lost you, George, there. Kindly call us back. All right, Doc.
So, Daniel needs to visit the hospital. Needs to have his breast examined. Okay. Now, there are various things that can cause one breast to become larger than the other. In men, if this thing happens, the first point of call is the hospital, so that we make sure, because apart from the likelihood of breast cancer, there are also some hormonal effects, because it started in puberty, he said, around 12. So there are some, and that was the time where we developed secondary sexual characteristics. Maybe there is some imbalance. He may not know it now, but if we check it, we'll be able to prevent things that may show up later on.
Okay. All right. Let's speak to Peter. Peter is in Dansoman. Peter, good morning.
Good morning, Mama. How are you?
Oh, very well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Let's hear you.
Please, I want to know from Doc if, women, the women like playing with our nipples sometimes and go to the level of maybe sucking it or playing with it with their teeth sometimes. I just want to know if that can cause breast cancer. And me in particular, there was a time I felt a small limp in my breast, and it was just like a ball. But I just treated it with somebody told me to treat it with shea butter, and I did that, and it's gone. And actually, I've not seen anything like that, and my breast is normal now. I'm not feeling any limp in there again. But I just want to know from Doc if I should go for a checkup or anything, because sometimes, like the way he's talking about seeing some limps in your veins and things, me, I have something like a round ball in my vein, in my leg. When I hold my vein, I feel like something is round in one of the veins there. So I just want to know if
Okay.
can.
All right.
That's all too. So.
Okay. Right. Peter, thank you very much. All right, Doc. Women playing with the breasts. Okay, that's some discovery right there.
Yeah, this is my first time also. This is my first time. I haven't heard that one before. But anyways, it is not a known risk factor for breast cancer. It's not a known risk factor for breast cancer. For concerning the lumps that he felt in the breast, there is normal times in a man's life where you can feel lumps in the breast.
Even for a man?
Yes, for a man.
Okay.
But it is important even to go to the hospital for the doctor to say that, oh, this is normal and this is not. The first caller, Daniel, I think, I'm sure when he had it at 12, people thought it was normal because in adolescent males, sometimes you have a breast bud which forms in the breast. So some people say, oh, I had the same thing, so it's normal, you should leave it. But then his has progressed. If he had come at that point, we would have been able to tell something. So if you feel anything, I mean, men are usually macho, they don't want to go to the hospital. That's why we are saying these things, so that you can pick it up early. And then you see, at the early stage, it's just a small procedure.
Okay.
Better than leaving it late and then we have so much trouble.
Great. Arthur is in Konongo. Good morning, Arthur.
Good morning, Mama G.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
See, I have one of my breasts bigger than the other.
Okay. And how long has it been like that?
It started around 2016, and it hasn't developed that much.
Okay.
I went to the hospital. The doctor told me that there is no sickness in it. It came as a result of a swelling of the tissues. And I want to ask if there is no cure for that.
Okay. As in the, okay. All right.
All right. So for Arthur's case, he did well by going to the hospital.
Mm.
All right. So I don't know when in the period, he said it started 2016, and now in 2020. I don't know when in this space of time he went to the hospital. If he did earlier and it's still persistent, it's important that he goes again. Okay. The importance is that to check and then to find that indeed this is what it is and hasn't increased, or there's an increase and whatnot. So if he has had the check remotely, it's been quite a while before he's done it, he should do it again.
Okay.
So that we see what's happening.
Jaffa is in Odenta. Good morning, Jaffa. Hello, Jaffa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for reaching out. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Please go ahead. The doctor is listening.
Okay, please. I have a brother who has a lump in both of his breasts, and I was with him a few days ago. I noticed he was touching it and quite feeling pain while doing so. So I asked him what was wrong, and he said he has a little bit of pain in his breast. And I said, no, that's not normal because he's a man. So he asked me to touch it and feel it, and I felt both breast and there was lump in it, and I could feel he was in a little bit of pain. So I recommended he go see a doctor. I don't know if he has already done so, but I think when your program come up, I called him on the phone to switch on to do anything and pay attention to what's going on. And I thought maybe if he doesn't do so, maybe I'll be able to call and get some advice from the doctor himself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You're very thoughtful and looking out for your friend. We really appreciate that. Let's hear from Amidu. Amidu is in Obuasi. Good morning, Amidu.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well. I'm doing very well.
Nice.
I want to know how often do we men normally go for the checking? And that's the first one. And then the exercise we do, can exercise also prevent us from getting that breast cancer you talk of? Because me, I'm a bodybuilder person. So I don't know how that one can also help us not to get it.
Okay. Great questions there. Thank you very much, Amidu. Let's speak to, I think, James. Good morning, James. Hello, James.
Hello.
Oh, I think I'm hearing you, but you're very low. Hello, James. Oh, unfortunately, we lost James there, but we can take the last two callers. Let's address their concerns.
So, Amidu was asking about how often we should do it. Once a year is fine. So, in this October month, you go there, it's screening. It doesn't look, men don't want to go because they will be shy. But this one, everybody's doing it, so just go and do it.
Okay.
Once a year for men, it's okay. Now, the other thing is that because men's breasts are not so big, I keep saying it, if it's the tissues there are very scanty, so if a lump starts forming, you can easily pick it up. And so it's important to go there. Exercise, unfortunately, does not have any effect. It does not have any effect on the development of breast cancer. So the fact that he builds doesn't mean that he will not get it.
Okay.
Or that he will get it.
Okay.
Concerning the earlier caller, it's very good that he advised his friend to seek medical care. And if the friend is listening, I advise him to just go to any hospital and have the breast examined so that we check and make sure that whatever is there, we can identify the cause and then give the appropriate treatment that he requires.
Okay. All right, let's go to Kumasi. Osei is there. Good morning, Osei. Hello, Osei. Hello, Osei.
Yeah, my question is not really about breast cancer. I wanted to, my name is Osei.
Oh, Osei, we're listening. You said your question is not related to breast cancer.
Yeah, but it's still about the breast, male breast.
Okay, sure.
I have been, diagnosed with a condition called gynecomastia. I think it's quite severe. I want to know if there is a risk of getting breast cancer because as for lumps, sometimes, in fact, most times, I do feel certain lumps in them, but then it's as big as a female's breast. Really big. It started when I was young, when I was in DHS, back in 2001. I was in DHS, and then it kept developing. And then I thought it was puberty, as the doctor said earlier. But then it kept developing, and I've been to hospitals. I've been to the breast care center in Kumasi here, that's Dr. Chief. They did scans and did all sorts of stuff, and they said there's nothing in it. There's no harmful stuff. But then the thing just kept developing. And now it's really huge. And of course, it will dent my, self-esteem and all.
Okay.
I want to know if this condition is directly linked to breast cancer. If I have a high probability of, getting breast cancer, and if there's also treatment for gynecomastia here in Ghana.
Okay. All right. Sure. Doctor will address that. Bailin, also from Kumasi. Good morning. Okay. I don't think we have you, so we can address Osei's very important question.
Yes, it's very good that Osei called because gynecomastia is, like he rightly said, the development of female breast in a man. There are various causes, and underlying all these causes is a problem with the hormones. Everybody has hormones. In fact, both men and women have male and female hormones. Both of us do. So when there's an imbalance in men, you can have the breast formation. That increases the risk of getting breast cancer. So in men who have gynecomastia, their risk of getting breast cancer is higher than those who do not. So for or say he has increased risk, but then he needs to see an endocrinologist. That is a doctor who specializes with hormonal issues. From Kumasi, I'm sure there are quite a number at G, so you can go there and have it checked, because they will be able to tell what he can do and then help reverse the hormonal imbalance that may have caused.
Okay, all right. I'll say otherwise you can also call us back and leave your number with us, and we can put you in touch. Is there a contact number to get to you or to Medifem?
Yes. Let me give my contact, so that if anybody has issue, they can call and then we'll direct them to Medifem. Okay, great. So the number is 0501 53 54 55. 0501 53 54 55. Okay. Well, we'll be spending a lot of time with you in this month as we talk cancer, breast cancer in particular. So I guess we'll be seeing you often. Yes, definitely. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really grateful. Okay. All right. We will bring you show business. Before that, though, Joy FM Christian Forum. There's a forum that's coming up. What is the role of the church when it comes to politics and, most importantly, elections? Is the church well equipped to execute its role and all the nuances that come with it? How influential is the church when it comes to shaping the democratic fortunes of our country? It's happening this Sunday, 25th of October. Is your radio for discerning listeners, Joy FM, as always, providing the platform and leading the conversation with the various faith bodies and religious leaders. I'll tell you about the speakers as we talk election 2020 in the forum dubbed Election 2020, the role of the church. Archbishop Philip Name, President Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference. Also speaking, Bishop Samuel Neumann, Executive Member, Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. Bishop Benny Wood, President, Concerned Clergy Association. And then also Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayosi, General Secretary, the Christian Council. It's this Sunday. Make a date at the Royal House Chapel, Ahimfe. We'll be live on Joy FM and also here on Joy News. Pastor Tawaka will be hosting that. If you've got questions, kindly call 0302 216 540. Remember that we're going to observe all the COVID-19 protocols. Caddy is up next with show business.